good to have you here, Nathaniel.
Thank you so much.
And, we had to pull the one and only Citizen Attoh into the studio. But why do you call yourself Citizen Attoh, though?
Well, this is an interesting story, and it happened here at the Multimedia Group with me and Bolare.
Okay.
So I used to be the host of the Airtel Entertainment News, as it was then known.
Okay.
On Joy FM, and at the time, that segment was around 5:30 p.m. every day. And so at 5:30 p.m., myself and Bolare would get on the, and then, we started it off, and because Bolare and I are very close, and we have this personal relationship, we bring everything we do outside onto the radio, and it's very natural. And natural bantering is sweet. For instance, if anybody sees the two of us on stage, they would wonder, oh, okay, these people are, because it will look like it's scripted, but then it's something that we do every day on a natural basis.
Right.
We would laugh about stuff on a natural basis. And in the same way, Bolare and I just started this thing, would do a bit of vibe, and it was more of 80% of bantering and 20% of the real stories that we came to talk about. And that was what people were listening to. So people started getting locked on to that segment, in addition to everything on the show. And then once Bolare wanted to interview Citizen Kofi, Dr. Kofi Amoah, the seasoned celebrated entrepreneur, billionaire, Dr. Kofi Amoah. So he asked me to call him up and, try to bring him, pull him up. And he's a very good older friend, a senior citizen of the land as well.
Yeah.
And at the time, he had put up this iconic building, Sue, called Citizen Kofi, which had some entertainment centers, which hosted some of the big parties in town and all of that. And so, I placed a call to him. He said, oh, no problems at all. Came over. We had personality profile with him on Joy.
Right.
And then the next day, he was so excited because there was like so many phone calls coming through and all of that. And then I told Bola, Charlie, let's do a recording for the old boy because he was like so blown away by everything that happened. And then Bolare says, hey, Charlie, this one there, it be Citizen Attoh. And then I also said, oh, Charlie, Citizen Boles. Oh. We actually did this at the reception of Joy one afternoon when he was going on air. And that was the end of the story.
That's how you became Citizen
And
Attoh.
so that afternoon, I walked into the studio, and with his usual hype, just like you do for the start of the show, he introduced me that way, and then I also started. And then so every other day when we come in, everybody's ready to listen to the Citizen Attoh, Citizen Boles, banter, and what we'd talk about, what we did during the weekend, which parties we attended, what we did, which activations we did, and all of that. And it was the end of the story, and one way or the other, it became a known name.
And everybody knows you by Citizen Attoh.
The director of the Black Star Festival, the legendary Rex Omar. Rex Omar is called Rex Owusumafo.
Okay.
And so at certain times, there was the temptation to even make it a part of his, make it part of his registration certificates and all his official documents. Yeah.
So that's how you guys change your name.
Yeah.
So he's Citizen Attoh, guys.
Yeah,
Citizen Attoh. Nice. So when you're emceeing, do you go by Citizen Attoh or Nathaniel Attoh?
All right. So for formal events, I like to keep to my Citizen, my Nathaniel Attoh.
Okay.
Most of the time, 99% of the time. Now, on certain days when it may be a formal event, but then there is that place, or there's what we call in local parlance allowance, okay? When there is that flexibility and you can do some light humor, and I'm very, very particular about this one, light humor.
Right.
Once you can do a bit of light humor, you slip it in very nicely.
Okay.
And that's especially when the guests and the audience themselves also are, more relaxed and, more primed towards you, are going along those lines. But of course, when I'm doing my concerts, when I'm doing my social events, when I'm doing my activations, when I'm on radio, and it's fun stuff and it's arts and entertainment stuff, definitely my CITIZEN 8 to the double T.
I like that. Now, you've been emceeing for a while, and today you are going to tell us how you've been so successful in it. Because so many young people want to be like, even some old people want to be like you, but they still can't be like you. I don't know how you do it. But you've been doing it for how long?
Well, so I remember that very informally, the break or the day itself was with my class 5 teacher when I was a little boy in Richard School in class 5.
Class 5?
Yes, and I've told this story quite a number of times. Mrs. Benson Ajay, Mrs. Elizabeth Benson Ajay, in Richard School, she helped me to realize that, listen, this is what you have and you have to move away with it. This is a very quick story.
Oh, look at you.
Who pulled this picture?
All right. So is this
me, Richard School,
research?
So this friend of mine, we always have a good laugh, This was like class 3, class 4.
You haven't changed.
And he was still shaving his beard and all of that at that time. That's Nana Kwekunti. He's a banker. He's a seasoned banker.
At that time, you had hair.
He had.
But you?
Oh, no, yeah, I didn't. Come on.
But now do you have?
Well, I decided at a point to just let everything go, So,
right.
Nana Kwekunti, my very good friend, and, he went to the dentist one day and they said, look, the dentist saw him and said, have you been to work today? Class 4 boy.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because he was always shaving.
Yeah. So Mrs. Benson Ajay, we had a debate.
Right.
A debate, okay? And it was very simple. It was between doctors and farmers. Now, my late father, then he was alive. He was a doctor. So he, obviously everybody likes to follow along those lines. You know why I always blame you for not being a part of the...
You are not a doctor.
You're a general's daughter,
But
you
are not a doctor.
Well, my younger sister is now.
Okay. My older brother is.
Yeah, but you are supposed to go to the...
But you too, you were supposed to be
you
a
are the
doctor.
general's... that's the general's daughter. You know that, right? Yeah. So farmers and doctors, who are more important in society, very, very simple,
Right.
So we broke into 2 groups, and I was a proponent, interestingly, for the farmers. And so we started the first one, and she took a second look at me. And at that stage, there's a default liking for the very bright English math students who are always topping the class and all. I wasn't topping the class. I was like middle range. But then we're in a very, very competitive class where you could get 85% in an exam and still finish 14th or 15th in the class. Yes.
Back
it was
then,
that bad, back in Richard School. So we had the first set, we had the second set, and then one afternoon, Mrs. Benson Ajay just said, something? We need an MC. And then she said, okay, you know what we're going to do? Come up here if you feel you can do it and introduce the debate and let's see who will select. And then the first person, two girls, my mates, both of them, have settled outside of town. They live with their families. They're doing very well. One of them, let's leave the names out. So one came in, started, not so good. And this was the typical math, English, blah, 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 shack, Came, started it, couldn't fit it. And then the second person went in. Said, oh, hello, everyone, welcome. Didn't really go well. And then I raised my hand and stood up. Okay, Nathaniel, come. Mrs. Benson Ajay listened to me that day. I remember that classroom. I could walk you there now. Yeah, it's right behind the administration block, close to the AstroTurf pitch. I could picture the place now. I walked up to the front of the class, and I just started talking. And that was the end of the story. Immediately I finished, everybody clapped, and she made everybody clap for me, and she said, listen, it's over. We have our MC.
Wow.
Eventually, we brought all the 3 streams together. So every class has 3 streams in Richard School, R, C, and S.
Okay.
I was in 5R at the time. So eventually, when we had the local debates, how do you describe them as local debates, we expanded it to the whole of class 5 at the time. So what happened was that we had a big day, we had a big audience of all the 3 classes, and we selected the MCs from all 3 classes, one from each class, but I led it. And you know what? From that day, everybody started calling me MC, 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 MC. And that was the end of the story. There was a bit of a break between when I went to St. Augustine's.
So you got the name MC from class 5?
Yes, class 5. Oh, yes, and this picture is a very interesting one.
This is Richard.
This is Richard Nyamakwe at the 40 Under 40 Awards. I announced his award.
Wow.
This was a couple of years before he had the big party. Yeah, that's me on the stage, yeah.
Really?
And that's, coincidentally, the man in the mask is my former boss at Graphic, the former CIMG Marketing Man of the Year, Mr. Awal, Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, who eventually became Tourism Minister. So he's our immediate past Tourism Minister.
Yes, I know him.
That's my former boss. I worked under him at Graphic.
That's great. Now, I don't know how you do it, but however you do it, we need to get people like yourself in the industry.
Thank you.
And
I'm humbled.
we don't have a lot That's
Thank
a
you.
fact.
Thank you.
And so anytime I hear that Nathaniel is going to MC an event, I get excited. Because I know the event is going to be great.
Thank you.
When you get a gig, what's the first thing you do?
Well, the first question you ask yourself, which should be very obvious, should be the description or the genre of event. So for instance, if you have a corporate event, let's just say a bank. A bank is introducing a product. Your appearance is informed by that genre of event. Okay. This is a very, very formal setting. The language you will be using is also supposed to be very, very formal and straight to the point.
Okay.
Because the environment is a formal and straight to the point environment. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Also, there is a lot of brand talk because everybody is there to, for instance, let's just say the bank was called Changes Bank. And Changes...
Amen to that.
Changes Bank, who are introducing, let's say, the Roseland card, okay, or the Roseland Premium card.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Everything you say has to be directed towards elevating the brand or that card that everybody is about to see, or everybody's about to outdoor in the minds of the people, because that is the reason why everybody is there.
Okay.
You see, it's for instance, like we're celebrating your birthday, and it is your birthday. Everything has to be about you. So we don't bring another friend of yours there and come and be saying, oh, you look beautiful, Rosalind is happy to have you here, but your hair is very nice, and now everybody's attention goes to your friend when it's supposed to be your birthday, So there is a lot of importance stressed on the brand and what the brand, which is Changes Bank in this case, wants to communicate to the public.
Okay.
And so it informs who will speak at the event. It informs the kinds of speeches that they will make. And it also informs who they will be targeting. So for instance, if Changes Bank has a vast array of clients, maybe from manufacturing industry, from SMEs, from the markets, from the informal sector, all of that put together, what will inform your speech, so that once you're speaking, once the MD of the bank comes and is speaking, it's straight to the point where we're targeting everybody, and you go step by step, guide and glide smoothly, have the appropriate language. You have to be fluid and fluent in whichever language it is.
Okay.
I always say, for instance, if you come from Kumasi, our brothers and sisters who come from Kumasi draw a lot of pride in their culture, in what they wear, in their king, and in their language. I also draw a lot of pride from my king, King Takite Kuchuru II, the king of the Ga State. And of course, once we say we're having an event and the official language is Twi, then you have to speak Twi properly. If you want to use any adages and you don't have a proper idea how it flows, go to the elders. Go to the traditionalists. Let them show you how.
So do research before you get on stage.
Okay. A lot of things come to me naturally, and that, I believe, is a great blessing and a strength. Someone may have to go and read around and all of that, but let's not get this twisted. What I'm saying here is that you have to be extra well read, and you have to have your ears on the ground. Let me give you a quick example. One day I was hosting the centenary anniversary lecture for Nelson Mandela here in Accra, Ghana. And the then president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was the guest of honor. He delivered the lecture. Former President Rawlings, God bless his soul, was one of our special guests as well. The lighting was such that, there was heavy lighting on the stage. So I saw a beautiful lady walking up, with a bit of security around her, walking up to the top of the stage. And I'd done a couple of introductions, and I was going to take my seat. Then President Rawlings stood up and walked up to me in the middle of finishing what I was, and then he walked up to me and said, "That is the former Vice President of Liberia. You haven't introduced her yet." I said, "Yes, sir."
It had to be done.
And I got that done.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that if I had sat down and I'd taken my time, looked at her, I would have known it was her. what am I saying? I'm just saying that you have to be well-read and you have to be abreast of current affairs so that when it comes to, for instance, acknowledging people, which is a strength that I have, which is something...
Your best.
Thank you.
Your best.
Thank you.
And we're going to delve into it.
Thank you.
I don't know if we have a video of Nathaniel introducing people. If we do, let's play it because the way you do it is so unique. I've been trying to do it like that, but I haven't perfected it yet.
Yeah. It will come with time. It will come with time. So you know, these introductions and these acknowledgements, you know, they say that I'm Christian, and when we're praying to God, we start with praise and worship.
Yeah.
So they say that we are made, the good book tells us that we are made in the likeness of God. Right. They say something about amazing women here, yourself, that your ears are your soft spot. You like to be praised. You like to be told sweet things. In the same way, when you're going to God and you're going to have communication with him, you start with praise. In the same way as well, in society, when people have done hard work in the background and, you know, in silence, and it's time to celebrate them, let us celebrate them and give them their due. And for me, I do not ever play with that.
Okay.
There are times as well when you have natural breaks and little flaws with technical production. And I believe that one will be a whole conversation for a whole show because that is a whole chapter of things that have happened. You'll be surprised to note that some of the biggest events that we all celebrate and look forward to every year on the calendar have certain challenges that you'd never ever believe that I've told you. So there are times when, as an MC as well, you have to think on your feet. And like I said, naturally, I'm blessed with on-the-spot thinking. I'm not a scripted person because technically we're in technical production and media. And technically, by every production, you're supposed to have your script, you're supposed to have your event flow, and you're supposed to have the master running order.
So what do you do if you get there and there's no running order as an MC?
Well, I have had many situations where people have recorded big events. I'll give you an example. It's a very recent one. And once again, the only clue I'll give is that it was a conference. Okay. You can imagine a conference that is attended in a hall which has a minimum of about 1,000 people. Senior government officials and everything. But then the organizer of the event did not have everything under grips in terms of having a proper event flow and everything. Now, the conversation we had the day before conflicted completely with what we had on the day itself, to the extent that on the spot, I had to switch roles and also do something we had not discussed, which is to moderate a conversation.
Oh, wow.
And moderating a conversation
it's
also...
way different.
It's completely different. Yeah. I do all of that. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a versatile brand, and that is what makes me different from, that's what makes me unique as a person. Like I said, I'm very grateful for that, but it has come as a result of a lot of hard work, a lot of improvement of self, a lot of reading, a lot of learning, and a lot of adding value to self in different ways, through education and all other things. And what I'm saying here is that there are days when, as an MC, emergencies will call on you, and your ability to stand up and hold those emergencies and run along and take all the pressure on your chest and make the stage look as good as it's supposed to look is what defines you as a good MC. You cover up whatever flaws are happening at the backstage. Let me just finish that story. So I got in there, and first of all, they gave me wrong timing. And so it looked like I was late, but unfortunately it was the other way around, where there was a break in communication somewhat. And the guest of honor, who was a very high-placed government official, was going to come at a certain time. And then the guests over there as well turned up about 2 hours earlier. How that happened, I don't know. Wow. And honestly speaking, I also don't play with my brand. Yeah. I broke my back to create my brand, and so I will do every single thing to protect it. Now, so I was very upset at the beginning. I said, listen, you can't do that. You can't, this is what we agreed on, and now it was in the thick of the situation, so we had to pack all of that under the carpet, save the day, and then go and discuss that at the end of the day. And so, and look, with me, once we're in the situation, you can count on me. And I've had some very good days when I've saved situations and people have been grateful for it. A quick example before you continue. I remember this was a wedding many years ago, and this wedding was a mate of mine. His first name is Nathaniel. A mate of mine from St. Augustine's, and it was his wedding, and we had the scheduled time, everything started off very well. I started this thing, and then it turned out that the lunch that had to be served was not ready, and something was missing from the whole pack, and it was just not possible. And once again, in the thick of the moment, I created about 4 different items, got some speeches going, got a performance going, I just turned everything around, and then we just kept going, kept going. I think we were able to buy about 50 minutes to 1 hour.
And that is something you do so well.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there was an event that I witnessed. I don't know if I don't think I was a co.
Yeah.
I think I was at the backstage with you. I've forgotten what event it was. And everything was not going right. Everything was not going right. But you took charge.
Yeah.
You were like the event organizer at the backstage.
Yeah.
You go on stage, put up a beautiful smile, come backstage, and Nathaniel is like, listen, we don't have this. But can we do this and that and that and that and that and that? I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to announce that this is
a security couple's daughter. I didn't.
And then he goes on stage, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to take a look at how Nathaniel introduces his guests to people.
Your Excellencies here gathered. Inspector General of Police, legends of different forms of art, giants of industry, our friends from the diplomatic community, distinguished friends, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure this evening to welcome you to the showroom, the main showroom of Alliance Motors, as we celebrate something that is related to what is the main foundation for crafting their automobiles, and that is excellence. Excellence that is crafted from foresight. Excellence that is crafted from dreaming. And excellence that is crafted from making sure that every single T is crossed and every I is dotted. We're here to celebrate a fine gentleman who has traveled a journey of 2 decades and a half in bitter moments, in sweet moments, in high moments, and in low moments. But in all of it, we look back and say this is a man of impact and is a touch point of inspiration for the generations who are within his space and the generations who follow. Tonight, we're gathered here as a close-knit family to send a message to a mass out there to tell them that it is possible. It is possible because a certain fine gentleman whose name in his passport is Nathaniel Kobna Anochi Adesi looked into the sky and said that the sky belonged to each and every one of us because we're all human beings. And of course, based on that inspiration, pushed for the greatest heights. And the story thereafter, 25 years on, is one that we all admire and one that we most importantly want to be associated with. By way of introduction, my name is Nathaniel Attoh, the not so tall, bald, dark gentleman who is imposing himself on you this evening. I will be your master of ceremonies, and it's my hope that together we would have celebrated how we have to celebrate, because in this side of the world, we're used to doing the opposite, which is looking at the darker side of things. Tonight, my brother and your friend, Bolare, also known as Nathaniel Kobna Anochi Adesi, is giving us a reason to look at the positive side of our lives as African people and look at it from a point of view of achieving and doing great things to make global impact from this space of 23 or 30 million people. We will start on a note of music. Music is something that has defined the journey that Bolare has traveled all these 25 years. And it's important that if we're celebrating a milestone as important as this, we start off on that note of music to serenade us and get us in a mood to celebrate him and to celebrate ourselves for all the hard work and all the midnight burning of oil to achieve great things. It's now my pleasure to bring here to the stage a fine gentleman who's moving at rocket speed because he drives with great passion the saxophone, and he does it with expert knowledge and skill. He has wowed many audiences in different places that he's gone to, and tonight he's joining us to make sure that we start off on a right footing. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, please help me welcome Kwame Jr. on the saxophone.
I have seen people script chew baba before they go stand there. Do you do same?
No, this wasn't scripted.
So, but do you chew baba before you go and stand there?
No. I would only memorize if it is required of me to do brand talk.
You see, Ghana here is not memorized. It is chew baba. Because if you say, oh, I memorize it, it becomes sweet, eh? You chew baba.
No, I don't. I just,
wow.
And another thing is, sometimes, like I said, there's been so many emergencies. I wished Captain Prince Kofi Amwabing were here. My story is tied to his, in a great way, because at the time when I wanted to venture into corporate Ghana, as a corporate MC, UT Bank, which was the highest flying at the time, took a decision on me at a time when my face was hidden in print, because I was a print journalist, and regularly it will come to people who were, who did a lot more of television and radio. And they took a decision on me. God bless her soul, Mawina Dumo, amazing lady. Mawina Dumo is one of the people who, for some reason, from word go, trusted my instinct, trusted my judgment, trusted my eloquence and my confidence on stage, and didn't mind at all, not even a single day, to hand me a role to host an event. And look, it's been one after the other. I remember Fred Darko. Fred Darko is a seasoned name, an experienced name in the events and promotions industry in Ghana. Fred Darko once called me, I'd closed from Joy, called me, Charlie, Nat, how be? I said, yeah, I did cool. Where you dey? I said, I did Joy, I just closed, I can't see my car inside. What you they wear? I said, oh, Fred, but you don't say me every time, I wear suit.
Yeah.
They say, okay, come to the conference center now. Captain Kofi Amwabing is waiting. We have to launch UT Holdings. We are waiting for you now.
Wow.
Just like that. Just like that. I'd closed from work and I thought, oh, Charlie, let's go have a good time. And then, we drive home.
Just like that.
Just like that. So I drove straight to the conference center, and from my car, I walked up, saw Fred, he briefed me, and I went on the stage, and that was the end of the story.
Wow. I don't know how people can be like you.
Yeah, and that day, Kofi Amwabing then and his partner, they gifted Amachi Dede a brand new Range Rover.
Oh, wow.
After his performance. We introduced him as a surprise guest.
Yeah.
It was such a lovely performance. So Amachi Dede has a Range Rover, a black Range Rover with the registration number Sirius 111.
Hey.
That Range Rover is from that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you have a great memory.
Thank you.
Because you read on your guests who will be present, right?
Yes.
And you deliver it without missing a word.
Thank you.
Nathaniel is a legend. Are you, shall I see? Send your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. But I just want to know, are you intentional about what you wear whenever you're going to MC?
Very well. Every time when I get the opportunity, so I do a lot of speaking engagements, and every time when I get the opportunity, I say opportunity because I see that as a touch point of blessing as well for the next generation, because other people have also inspired me. So what I always tell my friends, my younger friends, our friends in school, and all those aspiring to be in this space is, there's this old adage that you are addressed the way you dress. Well, without wanting to make a cliche and all of that, think about yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror all the time and ask yourself if, for instance, you were on national service at a place and they said, oh, emergency has come, and let's use our own multimedia group as an example. You're in the newsroom, you're, new, a greenhorn, learning, an intern or a national service person. They say, and then Rosalind comes to you and says, we have an emergency at the presidency. You come along with me. Do you believe strongly that if you look at yourself in the mirror at that moment, you'd be able to fit into that environment without anybody taking a look at you and looking down on you? That is where it begins. Secondly, you do not need to be a billionaire to
look good.
To look good
to
and
look good.
Decent.
Decent. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
And Rosalind, you see, I calculate your look in figures. It's true. 20,000 cities, 30,000 cities. Yes, everybody will be like, hey, yes, it's true. I'm sorry, but we don't need to say some of these things on, but
Nathaniel has said it and they say that he doesn't have to say it.
Yeah, so for instance, you're wearing a watch, which is on the high end. You're wearing maybe another accessory, which is a shoe, which can maybe pay someone and pay for all their clothes they're wearing at that moment. Well, that is a point of humility for me. But what is important is that you have to be decent and look presentable. Yeah. It is as simple as that. Yeah. Let me give everybody a trick.
Yeah.
And this is unisex. Let's just say you were leaving home and you were wearing a shirt, an African shirt, and some pants. So for the women wear pants, men wear pants. And pretty decent shoes. If you have a buttoned, shirt, African shirt, and you close the buttons all the way up to the top, it gives you a completely different look. So for instance, you have an African shirt, it's just on on top of your trousers or your pants. It's long-sleeved or it's even short-sleeved. You button all the way up to the top and it completely changes your look. As against it's opened a few buttons down and it's, your collar is apart and all of that. It gives you a completely different look. I want all of you to go back to the Honorable Dr. Papakwesi Indum. And, during the time when he was a minister under the Kufuor administration, he had that style and it completely changed his look.
That's so true.
And you ask yourself, if he ever came out with the African shirt open, then he'll give a completely different look as well. So you all know that when you go to Parliament, there's a dress code.
Yes.
That is the reason why you see members of Parliament dressed in a particular way. Now, when we're going to tidal rave, when we're going to a beach party, when we're going to a music concert, yes, let's get our groove on. Let's, put on some nice, colorful boots. Let's put on some, I have a picture from the last Shatawale concert that I hosted. Myself, Lexis Bill, Kojo Yangsing, and George Quay. I wished we could pull off that picture. Look, I was in my cap, and there are people who see me, there are a few people who have seen me and said they've never seen me wear shorts before. I'm like,
because it was a Shatawale concert.
Yeah, Shatawale's concert. Yeah,
now
40,000 fans.
Shatawale is something else,
Yeah,
I think,
and that is the complete opposite of this kind of look, where you have a double-breasted suit, you have a knotted tie, and you're looking all prim and proper. I mean,
Nathaniel Attoh, Citizen Attoh, is in the studio today. We are learning so much. Shola, you want to be a professional MC?
I mean, I'll leave it to the goons. I've asked him so many times. He can attest to the fact. I'm like, man, you speak so. I don't, because I like people who articulate, right? People who are able to speak well. It's a way to get me. If you speak well, you have my attention. And I watched his intro. I've forgotten what event it was, but he was hosting it with Sewami here, GJA.
No, I think it was the Ghana Football Awards.
Well,
no, it was GJA in Kumasi, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was introducing the president. Listen, normally people will say, oh, the president is in our midst, or distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have, this man would give you a full, I'm sure, sometimes I'm trying to enter the boots of the people he's introducing, because I'm like, if it was me, damn, I would like to hear all of those things for myself, because he's going back to where you schooled, your favorite food, your color, how you...
When he last saw you, the thing you told him.
I'm telling you. And then when he finishes, it all boils down, and then I'm like, if I was the one, I'm waiting to be like the next president so that I can get that honor, because listen, when it comes to Citizen Attoh, he don't play.
He's Citizen Attoh for a reason.
He is for a reason. him, but I'm always in awe. Like every time he steps on the screen, I'm always in awe.
Yeah.
And then when he meets you, he's trying to do, oh, you are the superstar. Say, please, do you know who you are? Do you? Well, please. So we have a number of comments, and so we'll take them because, I mean, people are, if you have the same sentiments as I have, then obviously you know that. This one says, good day, Rose. You're looking so beautiful. Keep it up. Love your program so much. This is Richard from Cove Town. Okay. This one says, good afternoon, Sister Fairly. Trust you and your crew are enjoying the Xmas vibes. It's a year now and a day when we lost the elections. It wasn't easy at all. This year, dear, we'll also take part in the celebration. I'm enjoying your show from Mankranso District Hospital. Peter is the one who said that.
Peter, don't worry. See, elections in 2028, we'll go back to the polls, okay? Who knows? Maybe God will bring your candidates. This
one says, good afternoon to you or Rosie.
Hi.
Please tell is it Bra Natty that I really love him and he's a great inspiration. Okay, so someone sent me pictures. Okay, the person sends this one. Can you see?
Okay,
is it visible?
Really?
Yeah.
So the person sends that and says, Elton Koku Nanegbe, a future communication minister. Nanegbe. Elton Koku Nanegbe, a future communication minister. This one says, good afternoon to you, or Rosie, please tell, so this person says to tell Nathaniel that he's his greatest inspiration. This one says, good day, Joycelyn, and the entire team. I love Nathaniel. It's not Joycelyn, her name is Roslyn, okay, please, Roslyn. Good day, Roslyn, and the entire team. I love Nathaniel.
It's typo.
Forgive us,
yeah,
sorry.
Typo.
We understand. I love, that's how the person has spelled it.
Yeah.
It's not L-O-V-E.
Love.
Yes, I love Nathaniel Attoh from my bone. I'm an MC myself, and as a female MC, it's tough for me in terms of outfit, and also people prefer male MCs to female MC, and it sometimes breaks my heart. Please advise me. Good afternoon, changes. Nathaniel is the headmaster of all MCs.
Yep.
He's an OG.
Yeah.
You do not need enough money to look good and decent. I love that. He's a gentleman. He doesn't talk a lot.
Yep.
He's very calm. Changes is indeed the afternoon show, best afternoon show ever.
Thank you.
This one says, I'm Asha Brew from Odoko, official town. Nathan, be too much. So Nathaniel, someone says that, Charlie, you're too much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Nathaniel, I think the lady, female MC.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. A couple of years ago, there are a few people that I'm mentoring, you know, and he always comes to me and says, listen, boss, I'm around. If, you know, you can pass something to me. I'm like, okay, don't worry. And then one day I sat him down and said, listen, which part of Ghana do you come from? He says, I'm Ever. I said, yes, you are Ever. Have you ever thought about specializing in your customary ceremonies? Naming ceremonies, the festivals that you have, funerals. And of course, in terms of branding, you know what you're looking for. I'm a high-end brand, so you don't see me doing mass market stuff.
Right.
If you want to do mass market, sit back, take a look at the mass market space and look at what is available and make yourself available. That also means that there's a lot of observation from the background, what the trends are like from start of the year to the end of the year in terms of events, and approach people. There's nothing wrong with approaching people and getting turned down in the early stage. At the early stage of my career, I remember there were people who would say, oh, you know, this one is the president coming in, and I just smile in my head and say, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, and so that's how it starts. There are people who also see you, and there's something like some divine spirit that speaks to them and tells them that, listen, this guy is something else, so just open it for him and let him go, you know. So I said to him, listen, go there, go and approach, for instance, the overlord of your area. In this case, I think he comes from where Togbi Apada, the board chairman of Hearts of Oak, the Agbugbu Mafia, comes from, the whole Asogli traditional area. I said, go to him, go and pay your respects to him and tell him that you want to become his official MC for the festival. For the festival, which is, you know, and I remember very well that only a couple of weeks ago, we hosted them on in the morning on the show.
Yes.
You know, prime morning, and some of our the chiefs came, they showed us certain aspects of other culture, and it's so beautiful. And I'm saying, once you specialize in that space, there is no way you are going to get any competition of any sort, because first of all, you are fluent in the language, you know the proper language, its pronunciation and how it's spoken, you've got confidence, you speak well. I was tweaking certain things about him and everything, and bit by bit, he's getting there. You understand me? There are naming ceremonies. I mean, like I said, there are stratifications in the market. And so somebody can say, listen, I want to place myself on the high end. Somebody would say, listen, I want to place myself on the mass market, space. And they are all places where you can...
Is it advisable for one to say, I will do the high end and the mass market?
Well, it depends. It depends on how versatile you are and how you're able to switch roles easily. Do remember that while all of this is happening as well, people sit back and they watch. So certain behaviors which can be allowed, let's say you are sitting in a marketplace and it's a fun thing. You're trying to work people up, you're trying to hype something, and you have to do a certain dance, say something a certain way, which you cannot necessarily say when you're standing, for instance, on a stage like this, amongst kings and queens, and traditionally you are not allowed to do certain things. So you see, it's a decision you have to take, and you have to be ready to absorb all of the little not so interesting things that come with it.
Is it the best if these, maybe you're a high end and a mass market gig comes? Is it advisable to turn it down?
Well, like I said, it's all decisions and how you want to go. There are days when certain mass market events call on you, and they do not require too much of you.
Okay.
They require just your presence. And of course, that one is very important. I'll give you an example. So you see this one, for instance. This was on the day when the Asantehene called on the Gamanche. It was a historic day, and I'm so glad and grateful to my king and everybody else for making me the man to, and over here, it is obviously because I'm what I am by the grace of God, and also that I have taken my time to immerse myself in my culture. I'm a Gadangbe. I am a pure Gadangbe. My late father comes from Jamestown. His mother comes from Somanya. My mother is Dangbe. She comes from, Pauno in Somanya. She's a Dangbe woman as well. So I'm a pure Gadangbe. So I trace my roots to Jamestown, Somanya, Udumase, Enada.
Okay.
So it's a fine, I speak Dangbe well, I speak Ga well, and, and every other day we have to improve ourselves. So when a day like this comes and you have to mix, you mix it well.
Okay.
I speak my Twi, but I am limited because if we get into proper elective Twi, I may be found wanting. But what helps me to navigate your 2-3 sentences, you say them and say them right.
Okay. Say them and say them right. Maybe 2 questions and then we can go. We have to go. So just 2 questions, because today the studio audience warned me. They said they want to ask questions. So just 2 questions. Yashala, you want to read your messages and then we ask the questions?
This one says, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Rosalind. How are you doing today?
I'm
Please tell
good.
Nathaniel Attoh I would like to see him one-on-one one day. Aishola, you look so beautiful and lovely. Thank you. I'm Lil Cash from Adenta. Okay.
Lil Cash.
So he says he would want to see you face to face.
Really gado. All right.
What I want to ask is, when you were coming up, what were some difficulties you faced?
Of course, thank you. I think I touched on it earlier. One of the things where that you're sitting there, you're brimming with so much talent, so much energy, and you look at a stage which is big, and you know this is your kind of stage. You can do it.
But
the people entrusted with that responsibility do not see that talent immediately, and they cannot take any risks to give you that opportunity. And this is why I always salute Mr. Gadi Laye. Mr. Gadi Laye is the CEO and executive chairman of Ogilvy, Ghana, and also a former board chairman of GOIL and a former president of the Advertising Association of Ghana. Many years ago, he took a decision which surprised me. I went to him when he still had the Miss Ghana franchise. And you know, the Miss Ghana franchise was only, this was KKD's space because he was the only person available at the time. They could fly him from London to come and host the event in Ghana because nobody was seen as good enough during that period.
Yeah.
And of course, we have to give him his flowers. I mean, he played his role so well during that period. So I remember once I went up to him and said, okay, I'm just coming up. So at least I'd like to do one of the regionals. I mean, the Miss Ghana regionals and the dancing competitions before, I mean, the main stage is reserved for the big names. That day, I remember what he said to me in the car park of Accra Red Church. When I went to him, he said, look, why didn't you come early? We only spoke to this. I would have given you that opportunity. Initially, I thought he was just saying something to just satisfy me. But then he gave me proof when, about 3 weeks later after that conversation, I was in my office when he called me. So a lady called me and said, this is Mr. Gadilai's PA. Please hold on, my boss wants to speak to you. I said, oh, Nathaniel, Tete, how are you doing? They said, well, the Advertising Association of Ghana Awards is coming up and I want you to do it. I was like, yes, sir. And you know, I was asking myself, God, this is a stage that has been graced by the legendary Grandmaster Godwin Avenogbo and the like. And this is one I sat at home and watched and admired so much.
Yeah.
And the man just said, listen.
I want you to do it.
Yes.
So you took that bold step.
Yes.
And the door opened for you.
But whenever you go asking for opportunities and you're turned down, don't stop. It happens like that. You see, all of those are supposed to teach you lessons. And for your generation as well, one of the things that you all have to be accustomed to is that life is not a straight line. Life is in steps and in stages. Nobody ever uses the shortcut. Somebody's breakthrough might come faster than the other, but it doesn't mean that they did not go through the process.
That's so true. Right, I see a picture on there.
Yeah, someone sent a picture. It says, hi, good afternoon. I'm Algebra from Ashaiman. I do follow him a lot. Do you even remember those you take pictures with? Because this is a fan.
This looks like State House, maybe.
Okay. Right.
So he says
Algebra says that you are blessed, and my greetings to him. Someone says, readers, please, I want him to mentor me. I know the possibility is low, but my hopes are high. Kindly read this for me. I have. Please, how do I get to Nathaniel Attoh for programs? Thank you.
Hi, okay. Citizen Attoh will tell you how you can get through to him for programs. He does charge, though. It doesn't come free. But anyway, I want you to name your top 5 MCs in Ghana, and then we can go.
Oh, this is such a difficult question.
Aside you, top 5. For me, you are number 1 for me. I told you earlier, and I've been telling you all the time. So
definitely, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, there are good friends who have, I may probably even go beyond 5, but there are some good friends who have graced the space and done amazingly well. For the ladies, for instance, I would easily talk about an Anita Erskine.
Perfect.
I'll talk about Michelle Attoh.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Ina Shoko.
Yeah.
I'll talk about, Nanaba. We've done amazing stuff together.
Yeah.
And, all of these have different strengths, different kinds of aura that they bring to the stage. And sorry for deviating, but the lady, there was a question here about females and how they don't get enough opportunities. Let me tell you something. Never ever get deterred by those things. Let me let out a little secret. The former second lady of Ghana, Hajia Samira Baumia, her 40th birthday was an all-female cast. Her 40th birthday celebration was an all-female cast. The chief organizer, a very, very senior person in our event design space, consulted me on the decisions she took of females. It was an all-female thing. And you see, it's just to add beauty and color. You understand me? I, for instance, had a big name in the arts and entertainment space, with the musician space, who has complained to me about like a venue owner who gave a venue for free to one artist, one name, big, because of where he comes from and because they share that same lineage, and discriminated against him. And I said, my friend, hold on. Have you ever thought about the possibility that one day somebody could also come to you and say, take this and this for free? take my private jet and go and film or use it for your events and all of that for free, just because you are my countryman, as they put it in Ghanaian parlance. You see? So all of these, like I said, are learning stages and learning curves. Yes, the world is such that, sometimes it's a very unfortunate thing to discuss, but we've got some amazing women who work on the stage and bring so much presence to the stage and guide our events so smoothly that, I mean, you're always asking for more. And these are some of the names I've mentioned. And so it's very important that you just keep pushing and keep looking for, what I do, for instance, is that I'll do a recommendation. There are people who just call me and say, listen, we are looking specifically for a female MC because it's X,
You've never
X, and
mentioned
Y.
my name.
Oh, who says I haven't mentioned your name?
I'm waiting for a date from you.
Don't worry at all.
Today I told you, I don't know, coincidentally, I told you before we came on air, I said, Nathaniel, you still haven't recommended me.
You know, we were supposed to
this
do...
This Christmas, you have a lot of gigs.
So 2 years ago, Rosalind and I were supposed to host the Changemakers Awards, but unfortunately, I had to be right here live on this channel hosting the Ghana Football Awards. And so eventually she had to do it with Evans Mensah.
Yes.
And it was a very interesting scenario because here we were in the same yard.
Yes.
One in the Grand Arena, which was the Football Awards, and then the Changemakers in the foyer of the Conference Center, which was also at the same time, So these things happen. And what I believe we should draw from these things is strength, okay? And final thing I would say to you is, I draw my inspiration from my faith, and it always tells us to that God doesn't give us things that we cannot handle.
That's so true.
Look, trust me, I've been on the opposite side before, and it just feels like yesterday, like we just snapped our finger and I jumped into the sea. I'm just throwing back to some of the moments where I would sit back and I'll crave so much to be on a stage, be doing this and doing it better.
Yeah.
And now here we are. We're getting celebrated.
That's where we are. His name is Nathaniel Attoh, a.k.a. Citizen Attoh. Thank you so much for being here today, Nathaniel.